Hi there, I'm Chris Moflam. Welcome to African Findings Explained, a series of discussions designed to shine a light of clarity on research findings on topics relevant to ethical leadership for African development. In this episode, I'll discuss how underdogs beat giants, champions, and incumbents through competitive differentiation. In Africa, giants and underdogs compete in football, politics, and business. For the most part, giants in politics and business have substantial power and influence, yet, some can be beaten by underdogs. According to The Economist, a news magazine, big firms in Africa have substantial pricing power on consumers who pay up to 20% more for services and products than in other developing markets. Very often, the way we think about business in Africa is dominated by news such as the weakness of democratic institutions, human rights, and toothless competition laws. These are profoundly serious issues that need to be addressed. However, we also can't overlook the need for leaders of small business and political organizations to do a better job at capturing more value for all stakeholders through competitive differentiation. What is competitive differentiation, though? Being identical to a competitor is a recipe for failure. In Differentiate or Die, Jack Trout and Steve Rifkin caution that an organization can survive in a competitive environment by emphasizing its advantageous difference, and it is the leader's job to promote it. Competitive differentiation is driven by a passion to uphold values or beliefs shared by stakeholders, and if capturing more value for all stakeholders fits the purpose of an organization, differentiation is a fight worth having consistently to improve people's lives. However, differentiating an organization from its competitors is challenging. Why? Because a marketplace, location, political environment may be very dynamic, disruptive, intimidating, and hostile for underdogs to compete with giants and win. So, how do you differentiate and capture more value? First, think about what dimensions your organization is better than your competitors and showcase the difference. History is full of leaders who used the best differences they had to win competitions. The biblical King David, as a small youth, did not mimic Goliath in their fight. David used his experience for saving himself and his father's sheep from the attacks of lions and bears. The huge champion, Goliath, had very protective gear and advanced weapons to fight the small youthful David, who chose to use rudimentary weapons. In the end, David defeated Goliath and saved the armies of the living God from the threats of the heavily armed Philistines. In another example, Mr. Biden defeated Mr. Trump, an incumbent, in the 2020 US presidential election. Mr. Biden won by demonstrating his strengths of empathy, decency, and rallying a broad coalition around the purpose of defending democratic values. Mr. Biden emphasized a collaborative approach to governance versus Mr. Trump's transactional, disruptive, slash and burn approach to governance. Second, pick the best possible location that fits your strength. For example, when David strategized to fight Goliath, he chose a location that was close enough to Goliath so that the force of the stone he flung would have the most impact on Goliath's forehead. Third, Anticipate how easy or hard it is for your competitors to react. Referring to the example of David's use of a sling and a stone in his battle against Goliath, the disabled Goliath had no chance to react. David won for Israel. Despite the substantial power and influence of big organizations on the lives of Africans, competitive differentiation can help small organizations capture more value for all stakeholders. Thank you for listening. Please tune in to our next episode of African Findings Explained. I'll discuss the implications of post COVID-19 foreign policies on Africa's emerging industries.